Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. It is another match day championship review. So we had 4 games in the championship, as I previously had said in my predictions, but there were 4 decent games on paper and they did live up to expectation. Some wonderful goals scored and some important results. So we're going to get straight to the first game. It was Barnsley 1, Fulham 3. Fantastic result for us in terms of the way we dealt, the way we managed the game really, in terms of what we came up against. I thought Barnsley's goal shouldn't have counted. I felt Marcus Bessinelli was fouled in the build-up to that by the Barnsley centre-half, just blocking his way from basically making a simple save, really. And for me, we did get justice in the end. I thought we should have had a penalty in the first half. The referee gave a free kick right on the edge after Cavari's trip on Ryan Sessegnon. He only got booked for that as well. And then the red card came in the second half, which was quite stupid from Cavari, really. He didn't have to really rise to that tackle from Johansson. Okay, I know Johansson's tackle was from behind, but he just sort of really ignored it. Instead, he shoved Johansson into another player. Johansson gets shoved, headbutts the guy by accident, and Cavari gets sent off. And for me, he let his team down there, I think, Cavari. He's going to do it, really. Just get on with the game. You're booked already, and you're winning 1-0, so you've got to think of the bigger picture. But I suppose in the heat of the moment, that all goes out the window. But we did get an equalising goal, thanks to Ryan Sessegnon. The second goal came towards the end. It was probably the most scrappiest goal I've ever seen Fulham score from McDonald. It was all bouncing up off the crossbar. It was like something off a rugby pitch. We do manage to squeeze it over the goal line. And then we do make it 3-1 on the counter-attack in the end, thanks to Sessegnon's finish right at the end. 2 goals from him again. Takes his total to 10 this season. And we're looking positive now in the top 6. Maybe for the time being, all depending on Aston Villa versus Sheffield United tomorrow night. We've just got to see what happens there. A draw will be a perfect result for us, I think. But looking at the way it's gone, it's a good result. As I said, we're winning games where we've not been playing too well. This time last year, we would have probably drawn this game, I think. And it just showed we have turned the corner in terms of what we've achieved this season and what we're achieving within the last couple of months. It shows that there's a new character, a good team spirit to the side. And I'm pleased to see that, because it's something we lacked in the early stages of the season. And it's finally good to see it all coming together now and showing what we're really about. As for Barnsley, worrying times to them now, still lurking above that relegation zone, and they do need to win very urgently. Some teams playing tomorrow, Birmingham, Sunderland tomorrow night as well. That's a huge game for either side. If either side do win that, and if Sunderland were to win away at Birmingham, they do close that gap on Barnsley and can even end up overtaking them in the table. So they do need to win soon. So moving to the next game, Brentford 0, Norwich 1. What a goal. This was actually another decent game, really. James Maddison probably scored goal of the week in the Championship for me. Absolute wonder strike from about 25 to 30 yards. Picks it up, takes a touch, runs along, makes a little bit of a run with it. Beautiful shot into the net. Lovely little shot in the end. And it was a good result for Norwich. I didn't really expect this to happen, really. I did go for a Brentford winning my predictions. I went for 2-1 Brentford, but because they've been playing with such confidence at the moment. But it didn't really come as a shock to me, because I knew Norwich had the capabilities in them to cause a so-called upset and get a win. They've obviously signed a couple of players from Germany again in the last week, looking to try and strengthen their team up for one push towards the top half towards the end of the season. Playoffs for me is out of reach now for Norwich, but I do think the top half finish will be a relatively good finish for Daniel Farke's first full season in charge. And that's Brentford. A result they probably didn't really want in terms of them trying to finish in the top 6 this season. It does put their playoff run on a bit of a slide at the moment, and they probably could do with a win sooner rather than later. Maybe a couple more new faces coming between now and Wednesday, which is deadline day basically. And yeah, they could probably do a couple more fresh faces in. They're still playing some good stuff, playing some lovely football, and it's probably one of those days they were quite unlucky not to win. Also, Lasse Vibe might be going out to China as well, so if they lose Lasse Vibe, they might try and get another replacement striker in for him, and that's something they have to look at and try and address before Wednesday. So we're into the penultimate game. Bristol City 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Good game. This was again a very good, entertaining game between both sides. This game could have gone either way, really. Nathan Baker was probably harsh to get off. I didn't think that was a straight red card for Nathan Baker. Yellow card at max. I don't get how the referee's seen that as a red card. Keith Stroud was referee for this game in particular. And he's refereed a couple of times at Fulham this season, and he's not been great in my opinion. He's been quite sluggish with his decisions. And his card distribution in terms of giving yellow cards or reds for fouls has been quite poor as well. And summed up in this game as well, which is good. To me, it was a yellow card at max. Really, there's no malice in the tackle. Okay, he's gone in a bit heavy, but it's one of them tackles where you're just going to get yourself on the forward and let him know you're there. Really, it's only a yellow card in my opinion. But then Bristol City did come out and pull out in the first half, get a couple of decent goals towards the second half. Hold on for the win as well. QPR had a little resurgence when they brought Matt Smith on. Good target man. He won a few knockdowns, a few headers, and had a few half chances as well. A couple of shots wide over the bar. And yeah, it's a good result for Bristol City. Keeps them in tabs in the playoff places now. Keeps them in the playoff places, which are most important as well. And then they need to now look to build on this at the moment. Top 6 should really be a minimum requirement now for Bristol City. and they need to try, as I said, got a good foundation now to kick on for the second half of the season and build on that. The Carabao Cup run's come to an end now, so they've got no distractions now in terms of cup games. They're out of the FA Cup as well, as far as I'm aware, so they can all concentrate on that league and try and finish in the playoff places to try and get a good chance to try and get Premier League promotion come May. As for QPR, I don't see them getting troubled by relegation this season, provided they can keep hold of Luke Freeman. Because if Fulham do sell Tom Cairney, rumour has it they're looking at Luke Freeman from QPR, which is a like-for-like replacement. I'll be happy with that, to be honest. £4 million, rumoured to be the transfer fee if we were. But time's running out and Tom Cairney won't be sold, in my opinion. But yeah, if we do manage to get Luke Freeman, if Kenny were to be sold, that would be a good signing for me, a good replacement. He's got a good left foot. I think 10 assists this season on the Championship. Very good all-round player as well. So going to the final game to review, Ipswich 0, Wolves 1. Good review, a very solid dogged win for Wolves. Something that definitely needed after a couple of games without a win in the last 3 to 4 games. Suggested that a little slide was an occurrence here, but that's been put to bed now with a good 1-0 win. Thanks, I think Matt Doherty scored the goal in this game. I'm not too sure, but it was a lovely header into the roof of the net and a big result for Wolves now. I think everyone else is now competing for second place. I think Wolves will win the league quite comprehensively, provided no disaster happens in terms of their last few games. As for Ipswich, the playoffs are out of reach for me, in my opinion now. I think they're going to be trying to compete for a top half finish, in my opinion. I thought they'd put up a bit more of a fight than they did in this game. It's been a bit of a disappointing couple of weeks for Mick McCarthy's men, really, in terms of the way they're playing at the moment. A couple of rumours that Colchester manager, the new Colchester manager could be coming in and try and take his place, potentially. As a rumour that Mick McCarthy could be losing his job. But if he does lose his job, I think it'd be a bit harsh, really. I think he's a good manager who's working on a shoestring budget there, and he's working wonders to even get him into the top half of the Championship. And for me, it would be harsh to see him lose his job. So there we go, guys. That's my Championship match day predictions. Around Wednesday, we'll bring out a transfer rumour roundup where we're going to basically review every club's transfer window, all their ins and outs, and discuss where it leaves each club in terms of their standing and where they can really achieve and what they can achieve this season in particular. So if you want to see that, hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. And we'll see you all on Wednesday then.